Today's project is the Nolita Hat. To start, we need to make a slip knot. To make a slip knot, make a circle with the yarn by putting the cut end of the yarn on top of the end that's still attached to the ball. Put your hand underneath and through the loop. Grab the yarn that's still attached to the ball and pull through the loop. Place the slip knot on your needle and pull the end to make the knot a little tighter. But don't make the knot too tight. Keep it a little loose. Now hold the needle with the knot in your left hand. We need to make more loops on our left needle. Each loop is made in 4 steps. Step 1, with your right needle, insert it up through the first loop on the left needle. Step 2, wrap the yarn behind and around your right needle. Step 3, pull your right needle through to the front, catching the new loop. Step 4, put the new loop back on your left needle. Again, step 1, put your right needle up through the left loop. Step 2, wrap the yarn behind and around the right needle. Step 3, pull the right needle to the front. Step 4, put the new loop back on the left needle. This is called casting on, and you're going to keep doing this until you have 30 loops or stitches on your needle. When you've cast on 30 stitches, put the needle with the yarn on the right side and line up the stitches so all the bottoms of the stitches face to the inside of the needle. Now you are going to join in the round and knit each stitch. Step 1, put the needle up through the first loop on your left needle. Step 2, wrap the yarn behind and around your right needle. Step 3, pull your right needle through to the front, catching the new loop. Step 4, now you're going to slide the loop off of the left needle. Now we're going to knit the next stitch. Step 1, Step 2, Step 3, and Step 4, slide it off. Slide the stitches up on your left needle as needed. Continue knitting each stitch around. If a stitch comes off your needle, you can pick it up and put it back on. There is a correct way that the stitch should be on your needle. The front part of the loop should be facing the tip of the needle. If you put it on backwards, you can just take it off and turn it the other way around. Then continue knitting. Keep knitting your hat until it is about 9 inches tall. You will know you are at the end of a round when you get back to the stitch with the tail. Now we need to start shaping the top of the hat. We're going to do this by knitting 2 stitches together. You're going to put your right needle up into the second stitch on your left needle and up through both loops. Wrap the yarn around and finish knitting them together. Slide the stitches up on your left needle as needed. Put your needle into 2 loops together. Wrap the yarn around and finish knitting them together. Continue to knit 2 stitches together around. When you get to the end of your round, you will have 15 stitches remaining. When it gets hard to stretch the stitches around the needle, pull the cable between any of the stitches to make the cable loop shorter. Knit 2 more stitches together and keep doing this to the end of the round. Note that the tail shows you where your first stitch of the new round begins. When you have only one stitch left in the round, just knit it by itself. At this point, you will now have 8 stitches. Continue to knit 2 stitches together for one more round until only 4 stitches remain. Keep pulling the cable out of your way as needed. Now pull out a long yarn tail and cut the yarn. Take the end and put it through the first stitch on your left-hand needle. Slide the stitch off the needle and onto the yarn. Slide the next stitch off of the needle and onto the yarn. Slide the next stitch from the cable onto your left needle. Insert the end of the yarn into the next stitch and slide it off the needle. Do the same with the last stitch. Pull the yarn tight to close the top. Now you're going to push the end of the yarn through to the inside of the hat. Turn the hat inside out. Now we're going to weave in the ends. Push the end of the yarn through a few stitches going in one direction towards the brim of the hat. After you've gone in one direction, we're going to come back the other way. Pull the yarn through a few stitches coming in the other direction. Now that you've gone back and forth a few times, cut the end of the yarn. Now we're going to weave in the tail of our hat. Again, push the tail in one direction for a few stitches. Now come back in the other direction. And cut the end of the yarn. Turn the hat right side out. Now we're going to attach the pom-pom. When you take the pom-pom out of the package, it may need to be fluffed into shape a little bit. The pom-pom has a pin that you open. Place the pin through the top of the hat, from one side to the other. Then close the pin. Congratulations, your hat is finished! Today's